In this video, I'm going to show you how to use 6 principles of persuasion to write high-converting emails. I'll start by telling you what the 6 principles of persuasion are, and then I'll tell you how to use them in your email messages. And at the end of the video, I'll give you a couple of resources to learn some more. So let's jump right into it. So first of all, what are the 6 principles of persuasion? Well, these are principles that were developed by an academic in the US named Robert Cialdini, and he wrote a classic marketing text called Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend you pick it up. It's a classic amongst marketers and especially amongst internet marketers. And you can use these principles in pretty much any communication. So whether it be your ad copy, your sales pages, your email messages that you write, and you can use them in your day-to-day life, which I try to do as well, but you always have to keep them in mind, of course, which is not always easy. So, but they're just highly usable in life, period. So I highly recommend you check out Cialdini's book. So let's jump in here. So the 6 principles are, starting at number 1, reciprocity. And I actually don't have these in any particular order. I've just written them sort of from my head. So starting out, reciprocity is number 1. And in the next slide, I'll get into the definitions and examples. Number 2 is social proof, which you've probably heard of before. Number 3 is authority. Number 4 are commitment and consistency. Number 5 is liking, which you can guess what it is. And number 6 is scarcity, which you've probably already heard as well. So now I'm going to get into a description of each and an example of how you can use them in your email messages. So number 1, reciprocity. What does it mean? Well, basically it's when people receive something without giving something to you first, they automatically feel indebted to you. So in other words, it's the, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing. But it's sort of hardwired into us, and Cialdini writes this in his book about how it's human nature, and it's actually innate, that whenever we receive something from somebody spontaneously and without us already having a relationship with them, when they give us something, we feel that we have to pay them back. And it's this irresistible human urge that we as marketers can use to motivate people, basically. So how can you use it in an email message? Well, the basic way you can do it is to give away something for of value for free. So of course, first you have to start out by understanding your target audience and figuring out what they value. And then you can give it to them for free, and that can be either a free report on your website or an e-course, which is what I do for my health websites. I offer a free 7-day e-course on treatments for a specific type of health condition. So the bottom line is that you have to figure out what your target audience really values, take an inventory of what their needs are, what their pain points are, what their desires are, that sort of thing, and then you can figure out what you can give them for free on your website. And it works beautifully as a lead magnet, or an ethical bribe, as some people call it, to get people to opt in and to give you their email address on your website. Okay, so that's reciprocity. So you give something away for free of value, and people will feel indebted to you. Number 2 is social proof. And you've probably heard of this before, but basically it's when something is popular, people think that it must be good, or it must be high quality, or it must be the right thing to do. And I'll give you a quick example that Robert Cialdini has given it's either in his book or in one of those articles, I can't remember. But he gives the example of a park in the US that was trying to get people to stop littering. Okay, and so what they did was they used the tactic at first of saying, so many people, so many hundreds of people are littering this park, please stop it. And they put up signs to this effect saying, hundreds are littering, please stop because it's becoming a real problem in this park. Well, what happened was when they put up these signs saying that hundreds of people are littering, it actually increased the rate of littering in these parks. And the reason was social proof. People reading the signs thought, well, if hundreds of people are littering, it must be the right thing to do. Now, that I know that doesn't make sense intuitively, but that's actually what happened. And there's been research done on this to show this. So even in cases where it doesn't really make sense, people take a herd mentality and they will do things simply because other people are doing it. So we kind of take popularity as a mental shortcut for something is good or it's the right thing to do. Okay, so how can you use that in your email messages? Well, you can use social proof by number 1, giving testimonials. in your email messages. So if you're promoting an affiliate product or your own info product, you can say, here are some quotes from actual users, satisfied users of this product. Okay. The second thing that you can do is you can note the number of people that have used a particular product. So if it's been used by X thousand of people, you can say, it's been used by this many people, this many satisfied customers, and if you can even give sort of proof of that by an independent third party, that's even better. So you see this in ads all the time, 200,000 satisfied customers, or you see on the McDonald's signs, 20 billion trillion people served, etc. That's a form of social proof. Number 3, authority. And that's, as you would guess, basically it means that people are more ready to listen to others that they perceive as experts. And we've seen this, in commercials. I've used this image of a doctor here. There was a famous ad, maybe it was back in the 60s or 70s or something, where there was an actor who played a doctor on a TV show. And he was hired to be a pitch man for a product. And he started the commercial by saying, "I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV." And research found that even though he said he wasn't a doctor and people knew he wasn't a doctor, the simple fact that he was an authority figure made people want to buy the product and motivated them and encouraged them. So it's very useful to use any sort of authority that you can in your email messages or in your communications, period. And there are a couple of ways that you can do this, and I do this specifically with my health products. Including the results of scientific studies is a great way of doing it, especially if you can translate that scientific research into plain English, which is one of the things that I specialize in. Okay, people love it when you tell them that scientific studies have been done on something, that there's been academic research, and that it's been proven, because they see science as being a good thing and as being credible. The second thing you can do is include endorsements by experts or celebrities. Even though it's not intuitive, even though celebrities might not be an expert in anything, they're still high profile and they're respected by a lot of people. And experts, the same thing. High profile experts, Dr. Oz, people like that. If you can get an endorsement, even if it's not directly for your product, if it's in the field or in the category of product that you're promoting, it's excellent, and it moves people, it persuades people. Next thing, commitment and consistency. And what it means is that when people make a commitment to something, they feel compelled to follow through. In other words, they feel compelled to be consistent with that commitment. I put a picture here of a couple getting married. Maybe it's not the best example, if you believe that stat that 50% of marriages end in divorce in the first few years. But anyway, the point being that if you can remind people that they've made a commitment to something, then again, it is innate in human nature that they will want to be consistent with the commitment that they've made, and they will want to follow through. And another simple example, in the field of environmental marketing, there are some researchers who are trying to get people to be more eco-friendly, and what they found is the simple act of getting a person to wear a button in support of an environmental cause will change that person's perception of themselves into them thinking of themselves more as an environmentalist, even if they have no experience or no values that are rooted in the preservation of the environment. The simple act of asking them to wear a button that has the logo or the name of an environmental cause will change the way they see themselves, and then they will want to be consistent with that self-image, and they can be encouraged to be more environmentally friendly. Okay, so how you can use it in an email is remind the subscriber that they've already taken a step in the right direction by signing up to your list, signing up as a subscriber to your email list. Okay, so when you remind them of that, they will automatically slot themselves into a category as a follower of you. Okay, and then you can tell them, well, you've already done this one thing. Why don't you go all the way and purchase this product or that sort of thing. Now, of course, it's only if you truly believe that the product is in their interest and it's going to be of value to them. But if they've already opted into your list, they've already made a commitment to you, and it should be that much easier to get them to buy a product that you're promoting. Next one is liking. This one is also pretty obvious. People are more likely to do something if they're asked by someone they like. Okay, so the way that you can incorporate this into your email messages, and there are bloggers like Pat Flynn and guys like that who do this really well, you want to be yourself, and you want your natural personality to come through. And if you're a funny person, that's great. If you're not funny, if you're more of like a stats guy or something, or if you're funny and you like stats, whatever, you basically want that to come through in your emails and in all of your communications, because people will see that you're a genuine person. And if you make mistakes, you should talk about that as well as your successes. And if you let your personality shine through, you could take it from me, from my own personal experience of running Keywords Blogger, that you will attract a certain kind of person. You probably won't be able to predict who you're going to attract, but eventually a certain type of person, certain type of people will be attracted to you, and part of that will be because of the personality comes through on your blog. Okay, so I say here how you can use it in your email messages. Number one, you can tell a true story about yourself. Be honest and let your personality show through. Okay, and that's just telling stories about yourself throughout your email messages and on your websites. So people like others who they see as sincere, as I've said. So you want that to be apparent. Okay, don't hide. Next one is scarcity. What it means is we desire more what we think is in short supply. So we might have desire for something, but if we think it's in short supply, if we think it's rare, if it's scarce, then we will desire it even more. And you can think of it in terms of the forbidden fruit even. You can see these two kids fighting over this toy. I guarantee you, if they walked into a room full of toys and this little guy or his brother started playing with a truck, for example, the other one would gravitate, would drop this teddy bear and go straight for the truck, because we desire what we think is in short supply. And it also ties into the social proof thing as well. If you see that a couple of people have something and it's very rare, first, the social proof is other people have it, and number two, scarcity is because there's only a couple of those things. And we see examples all around of that in the price of rare diamonds, and in the price of rare cars, and in everything. When something is scarce, the perceived value is higher and it becomes more desirable. So how you can use it in your email messages, you can say that your sale or your special offer is closing soon if you have your own information product, or if you're promoting an affiliate product, find out when a sale is on and give them a reason why it's closing and why they should buy right now. So the scarcity in this case would mean that the product is available today, but it might not be available tomorrow, so you need to jump on it right now. So those are the 6 principles of persuasion. If you want to learn more, as I said at the beginning, I highly recommend Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, and this is how you spell Robert Cialdini's last name here. You can also check out my post that I've written. It's called 6 Proven Principles of Persuasion. Just go to the search box on the blog and type in this term and it'll come up, and basically it's a summary of Robert Cialdini's book. And so if you don't have time to read the whole book, you can go there, and I think I've done a decent synopsis of it. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thanks.